So Caitlin Clark's signature PE Kobe Bryant shoes came out today. Caitlin Clark shoes look like they might have sold out in about 10 minutes. These are the shoes. Say Caitlin Clark Kobe v Protro PEs dropped on sneakers today for $190.
Nike thought they knew hype. They've worked with LeBron, KD, and the ghost of MJ's legacy for decades, but they weren't ready for Caitlin Clark. The moment her Kobe 5 Protro Player Edition dropped at $190, the entire sneaker world snapped its neck to look and then sprinted straight to checkout. 10 minutes. That's all it took for Clark's debut sneaker to vanish completely. And that's when the panic set in. Executives at Nike were stunned, not because they didn't expect strong sales, but because they underestimated the scale of Clark's pull. We're talking about a player who's barely stepped into her first WNBA season, and yet she's already commanding more demand than half the NBA roster combined. And don't think this is just a women's basketball thing. No, this is bigger than gender or league. This is market dominance. The release was supposed to be smooth, a limited drop of 13,000 pairs, mostly meant to test the waters. Instead, it turned into an all-out sneaker war. As soon as the site said "sold out," platforms like GOAT, Flight Club, and Stocks went into meltdown mode.
So you're going to sell is $190. They sold out, are changing hands on StockX for $300 to $350.
I thought that these might not perform well, but just wait until I show you the stock numbers on these. These are currently pre-selling for over $300 and the retail is only $190. The total stock on Nike US is just 13,000 pairs. For comparison, the Kobe 5 Eggplant had just 30,000 pairs.
But what happened next? That's what sent shockwaves through the building. The resale prices didn't just climb, they launched. Within hours, size 7s were listing for over $500. Size 8.5? Around $375. Some pairs even surged past the $555 mark, a 200% spike from retail. And this was just day one.
So, look, as y'all can see here, so this is GOAT. Now, let's head on over to Flight Club. 8.5. Your boy John Liquidator size right there. Currently sitting at $375. And the price, look, for a size 7, you're looking at $550, bro, for a pair of these shoes already. Already. It's only been out for a few hours, guys. This is the Caitlin Clark effect.
If you think Nike execs were high-fiving in celebration, think again. They were scrambling. Why? Because the demand was so intense, it exposed how badly they underproduced. The shoe wasn't just popular, it was historic. And now Nike had a problem they didn't expect: how to catch up to Caitlin Clark. It gets even wilder when you realize who's driving this frenzy. These weren't just longtime WNBA fans. Nope. Resellers, sneakerheads, NBA collectors, even dudes who haven't watched a women's basketball game since college were all bidding like mad.
Everything with Caitlin Clark name sells like hotcakes, man. I don't understand how Nike is sitting around acting like they don't know this. I couldn't get the All-Star jersey, gone. You can't get the regular season gone. You can't get the t-shirt, gone. Bruh, Caitlin Clark doing so many numbers. Bruh, they got audited. It's crazy.
The quota has been reached to a point where they got audited.
What?
Yes.
Nike, where the shoes at, bro? Where the sneakers at, man? Where are the Caitlin Clark sneakers at, bro?
Suddenly, Clark wasn't just a star athlete. She was a sneaker brand, a real one. And her shoes weren't just shoes. They were status symbols. And let's be clear, these aren't even signature shoes. These are player exclusives. The big dogs in the NBA don't usually hit these levels unless their names end in Bryant or Jordan. Nike thought they were running the show. Turns out, Caitlin Clark was already the headliner. While Nike was still catching its breath, the sneaker market turned feral. We're talking full-blown chaos, bidding wars breaking out over every size like it was a pair of off-white Jordans in 2018. But instead of Travis Scott or Yeezys, it was Caitlin Clark flipping the whole market upside down. And here's where things took a sharp left turn. Size 7s, prime real estate for women's sneaker collectors, were going for over $555. Not on some shady third-party site, but on the GOAT app.
A Nike rep told Fox Business that the Kobe Bryant-themed sneakers were out of stock in, quote, minutes. The shoes went up for sale on Monday morning at $190 a pop. Now most are going for well over $350, with one pair even costing $642. Kick screw. Right here. There they are. Wow, $642? And that is a size 12. A men's 10 at $480. That's my size.
That's more than what some NBA All-Star PEs go for. StockX showed size 9.5S dwindling fast. Just 19 left out of 13,000 total pairs produced. Some listings would jump from $400 to $500 in minutes. It wasn't just resale, it was real-time inflation. This wasn't some slow burn like when Kobe 6 Grinches took a year to creep up in price. This was instant combustion, the kind of resale activity that even made hardened sneaker scalpers raise an eyebrow. Clark's shoe didn't trickle up the ranks. It punched through the ceiling on day one. Let's take a moment to understand why this is so ridiculous. The last time WNBA-related footwear caused this much frenzy? Oh wait, it never has. Not even close. Not for Diana Taurasi, not for Sue Bird, not for Sabrina Ionescu, who got her own Nike line. And definitely not for anyone who came out of LSU wearing lashes and drama like a uniform. Caitlin Clark did what even NBA rookies struggle to do: move product at a volume and speed that made veteran sneaker execs nervous. And remember, this is just a colorway drop, not a full-blown signature line. But that didn't stop people from treating them like they were limited-release Kobe's with a hologram patch. Not only that, the NBA crossovers have started paying attention. Collectors who wouldn't normally touch a WNBA shoe are now hoarding Clark's pairs like they're early Jordans.
Caitlin Clark Kobe 5 Protros. I mean, she got a lot of custom PE Kobe's that I would love to see come out, but this right here, the Indiana Fever colorway, is fire.
These are the best Kobe's I done seen since Mamacitas and the Grinches. I'm just trying to get me a pair. 2 times 2.
Influencers are flexing them on TikTok, and even some retired pros are asking where to cop. It's no longer about the WNBA. It's about who's driving sneaker culture right now, and that's Caitlin. This entire thing has made one point brutally clear. Nike slept, and now they're wide awake. They didn't just underestimate Clark. They underestimated the entire ecosystem forming around her name. Now, just when you thought it couldn't get any more intense, Nike made its next move. Reports started leaking about a second Caitlin Clark Kobe 5 Protro drop set for October, and this one's coming with a new twist, a white and sky blue colorway. And just like that, the October pair became a ghost before it even dropped. Sneaker collectors are already drooling. Why? Because the new design ditches the Indiana Fever red and yellow and replaces it with something cleaner, colder, and way more universal. Think UNC vibes meets Mamba Legacy. And if you know anything about Kobe collectors, they'll do anything for a fresh Kobe drop, even if it has Clark's name on it. So what does this mean? Simple. People who missed the first drop are now hoarding the current pair like it's gold. They don't want to wait. They want both. This isn't just sneaker culture, it's a collector's arms race.
This is StockX. Now, these are, some other Kobe. These are other Kobe prices down here, bro. And as y'all can see, they're in the $2,000 range. Now, these ain't Caitlin Clark shoes. Any amount of money. Caitlin Clark shoes. Expect these shoes to get in $1,000. We got to remember, there's another pair, Kobe PEs, guys, that is scheduled to be released in October. Yes, October. They're white and like a sky blue color. They better than these. I ain't gonna lie to you. But if you want to go for pure style, I'm telling you right now, the ones that's coming out in October, it's going to be nasty, bro.
Owning both editions will basically crown you royalty in WNBA merch land. But here's what nobody expected. Nike rolled out Caitlin Clark's first solo commercial right in the middle of all this chaos. And they didn't hold back. The ad featured Clark staring dead on into the camera, her pupils glowing with the Mamba logo, as if Kobe himself handed her the keys to the kingdom.
Nike finally decides to release a Caitlin Clark commercial for her new Kobe 5 Protro player exclusives. Let's hear it.
The production? Clean, cinematic, almost too serious for a shoe ad. The message? Clark isn't here to be a sidekick. She's the main event, and the commercial made that loud and clear. This wasn't your typical Team Nike group montage. This was Clark's moment, her brand, her visuals, her story. For context, even players like Ja Morant or Zion Williamson had to wait a bit before they got a full spotlight ad. But Caitlyn? Nike went all in. And here's where the symbolism slapped everyone across the face. The Mamba logo in her eyes? That wasn't an accident. It was a tribute, a passing of the torch. And if you don't think the Kobe fans noticed, guess again. Forums lit up. Instagram sneaker accounts went full detective mode. People were zooming in, screenshotting frames, calling it one of the most creative Kobe tributes in years.
There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye. When you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe logo in her eye. And as you know, Kobe's nickname was the Black Mamba. This commercial was a 10 for 10. And a lot of people have been getting on Nike because they don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlyn as much as they should.
But let's be clear, this isn't just about nostalgia. This is a calculated branding move. Nike knows what it's doing. They're tying Clark to legacy, not just to the WNBA. They want her to transcend the league, just like Kobe did with the NBA. They're not just selling sneakers, they're selling a mythology. And so far, it's working. Now, while Caitlyn Clark's sneakers were breaking the internet, the WNBA was facing a totally different kind of crisis. No one was watching. And that's where the numbers got humiliating. Let's do some quick math. A game featuring Angel Reese, Kelsey Plum, and Hailey Van Lith, three of the most promoted names in the league, barely scraped together 240,000 viewers. Another game, with Nafisa Collier, one of the most skilled two-way players in the league, barely touched 220,000. Then you have Connecticut Sun versus Las Vegas Aces, two top-tier teams, drawing a pitiful 100,000 on NBA TV.
A game that features Angel Reese, a game that features Hailey Van Lith, a game that features Kelsey Plum should for sure average more than 240,000 viewers. It gets worse.
That's not just low, that's alarm bells ringing in the commissioner's office. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark's lowest-rated WNBA game, 581,000 viewers. Her highest? Over 624,000. Let that sink in. Her floor is everyone else's ceiling, and sometimes the elevator doesn't even get that high. The league better start taking notes, because this isn't just a trend, it's a takeover. Even the NBA had to learn this the hard way.
100,000 is embarrassing. I didn't think I would be seeing a 100,000 viewed WNBA game on television, period, this year. And that's Caitlyn Clark's lowest viewed game, 581. Her highest viewed so far on NBA TV, 624,000. Folks, we're talking 3 times the amount.
Remember when the league thought it could run on legacy names? Then Steph Curry came in and changed everything. Suddenly, every kid wanted to shoot from the logo. Now Caitlyn is doing the same thing, but for an entire gender, and a league that's been dying for relevance. But it's not just about the views, it's about the value. These viewership numbers are now being used by WNBA team owners and negotiators as evidence going into the next CBA talks. One exec was reportedly seen walking into a meeting with a literal file folder of Clark-related metrics. When your stars' games are pulling in 2 to 3 times more viewers than the rest of the league combined, it's no longer just hype, it's leverage. And Nike? Oh, they're just getting started. Their investment in Clark isn't just about the shoes, it's about redefining the landscape. A signature line is almost guaranteed at this point. A full apparel drop is reportedly coming this holiday season. And if this momentum keeps up, she could be looking at one of the fastest brand ascents in sports marketing history. What we're witnessing isn't just sneaker resale chaos, it's a business case study in real time. Caitlyn Clark walked into the WNBA like a rookie, but now she's running the numbers like a CEO. So if you're sitting there thinking this whole resale madness is just a fluke, think again. This isn't about hype, it's about history. And judging by those $500 price tags on GOAT, history's not going on sale anytime soon. If you're enjoying this content and want to see more breakdowns like this and support the channel while you're at it, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.